I want to talk about archetypes, or for the purpose of this video, we shall call it identities. And this is based on Swiss psychologist Carl Jung's work. And I think this is particularly relevant today because in our culture, I think there are a lot of people that really attach themselves to labels and identities as a means to try and find some sense of meaning in their lives, or to at the very least feel understood. And I'm going to explain why this doesn't really work in that way, unfortunately. So, the idea of archetypes came from Carl Jung, and he believed that there were 12 archetypes in our society. There are many more, in fact. And throughout life, the idea is that we all kind of shift and evolve to different archetypes. Now, the problem can arise when we get overly attached to one particular archetype or identity. And it doesn't serve us very well when we do this. So I think a really good example of this is the artist archetype. Now, I'm saying this as someone who was an actor myself for many years. But just as an example, perhaps you meet a musician and you might hear someone who's a musician kind of saying something like, music is my life, I live, I breathe it, it's who I am at the core. Like they intrinsically connect themselves to it. Now, indeed, at the core, they may well be very playful and very creative, but it's not who they are. Certainly, whenever I made a shift from acting to new things, I went through this absolutely awful grieving process. I felt like a part of me had died. And you hear this a lot from many different performers. But really, when you think about it, what has died? Nothing has died. I am still exactly the same person. I haven't changed. It's just that my circumstances have. I think another great example is women who become mothers. And I mean this with so much love. Now, those maternal instincts can take over. You're living, sleeping, breathing, eating, everything to do with your children. You're with them every day. But some women can get very enmeshed in that. It can become very much a part of their identity, where they're like, mum life, full-time mum this, mum that. They talk about their kids. Everything about them is being a mum. And then their kids grow up and leave home and they suddenly crash and burn. And they're like, who the hell am I if I'm not a mum? So you can see how this can cause a crisis. And I think particularly nowadays when we're maybe using our kind of illnesses or mental health issues, like I am anxiety, I am depression, I am neurodivergent. I sense that what is behind this is people searching for meaning, a desire to feel understood, which is a totally universal thing. But unfortunately, it's a hollow way to go about finding meaning, because again, it's detaching ourselves from who we really are. It means that we're losing authenticity in the process, and we're trying to attach ourselves to something that isn't us. So really, I guess the overall idea is that we can get very lost when we try to find out who we are externally, because who we are very much lives deep within us in the core. It's always there and it never ever dies.